in your good wins this year, I seem to remember, like, if you felt like your team was giving up too many points, like post game, you would tell
Yeah.
us, right? You'd say that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you always want to win games, but in losses, does it almost make it easier to like hammer those points home with
For
you
sure.
guys, with what you guys are trying to get to?
For sure. Our job as coaches is not to have that happen, right? To keep our process oriented, and I think we've tried to do that. But for players, I think it when you get the L, it drives it home. It's a little easier. Like, hey guys, after win, you hope our teaching is right, and we don't just look at the score. We look at how we're performing. But definitely, I think for players, it drives the message home. Maybe a little more awareness of what we need to do, how we need to get better.
Defensively, just against this team in particular, look at Detroit and how well they've played, especially in transition.
Yeah.
Recently, defensively, focus wise, where did your mind go immediately with this team?
Like I said, post game, last game, we're giving up too much rim, too much paint. And now I think we're last 15. We give the second least amount of threes, but I think we're almost 2-3, taking away too many threes. Does that make sense? Like, the first thing is paint and rim, and I think sometimes, especially with Evan and Ja out there, it'll be a ISO or whatever, and we'll stay at home too much on shooters. So we just gotta get back to our shell principles, our protect the paint principles, and that's number one on my list. Too many rim attempts and too much reliance on our rim protection. Like, you don't want them to get there, and they're getting there. So we gotta change our mindset. Get back to protecting the paint, protecting the rim first.
Chris.
Kenny, how long do you anticipate being without Dean for?
Oh man, Chris, good question. You know, I think it's more than day to day. I'll put it that way. So, um, yeah. I just keep it at that and give you an update as we know more.
So throughout the course of this season, you had an extended look at Isaac in the starting lineup in that spot. Then you had an extended look at Dean in the starting lineup in that spot. I don't want to make decisions for you, but if it's Max moving forward, filling in for Dean, what are you looking for from Max specifically in that role that kind of gives you an idea of which way you're going to go with your lineup?
He's got to take that perimeter defender role on, right? Like that we used Isaac and Dean. That was their main main task, right? And now it falls on him, which fits his personality, fits who he is. So, he'll guard Cade tonight. So we gotta. You need a task defender, someone you say, okay, we're gonna put him on their best player, and he's got to take that role on. He's done it before. He's done it well. He did it at Miami. So we're lucky we got another one that can do that. But that's his primary role, and then Chris, his game offensively. It's energy, offensive energy. The good thing about Max, what I love about him, these guys know how to play with him. They know what's good for him. They know he loves the two-man game. He loves the hit and hand back. He's a really good cutter, and has shown some real good flashes of offensive rebounding too. That's kind of what we're looking for from him.
Tom.
Yeah, Ken, you mentioned before you're missing some defensive perimeter guys. Have you found over the last few years our defenses evolving along with the offense in terms of taking away those threes and trying to do things differently to combat?
It really depends on your philosophy. I think each team's different in how they approach it. Some teams are more stay at home, take away threes. Some teams are just take away the paint and rim at all costs. So Oklahoma City is a great case of that, right? I think they give up the most amount of threes or second most, and they just sell out for paint and rim. I think it depends on the coach, depends on each team's philosophy. I would just say, in our case, we've tilted a little too far from protecting the paint and rim, and we're taking the three away, but we can't be giving up layups, because what rim attempts mean. They mean you're going to foul more, You know, if teams are at the rim, and so, yeah.
Okay.
What are the things that you look for that tell you you are playing the right amount of man, the right amount of zone in terms of mixing coverages appropriately?
Yeah, it's a little bit feel. I obviously look at all the numbers. I look at clips. I study the team. Are they good against the zone? Are they not good against the zone? Are they good against switches? Are they not good at kind of look at their strengths and weaknesses? So I go into the game with that mindset, and then once the game starts flowing, it's a feel. There might be 7 seconds on the shot clock. It's a side out of bounds. I know they're in the bonus. You foul less in the zone, I'll go zone. They've scored 6 straight times a man. Do we throw a different look at them? It's definitely a feel. I'm definitely one of those coaches that is more willing to change up defenses, and like I said, I've always said I'll continue to be that way, because I think in the playoffs you just can't play one defense. You got to be able to change it up.
And then Karras was ruled out when the injury report came out yesterday after being questionable for the past several games that he's
Yeah.
been playing. How long do you anticipate not having?
I think that's more day to day. Again, these are opinions. I think it's more day to day. That's my feel with that. But still not feeling right. The wrist it's a little bit like ice with the shoulder. I think these are sensitive things when it comes to shooting the ball. And if a guy is just not feeling it, we err on the side of caution.
Jim?
Ken, we know JB did it here. He's built another strong defensive culture quickly with the
Yeah.
young team. What do you make of his ability to do that?
Oh man, he's a heck of a coach. He's done a great job with the Pistons. They keep improving. They're good defensively, and I think they're good offensively too. Right? They do really good stuff. So they've got a nice mix of young guys and vets, and he's gotten helped Cade get to another level. You could argue that's might be the biggest feather in his cap. Make a young guy take another leap. That's real credit. Heck of a coach. Happy for him. Unhappy they're playing us tonight. They're playing well, but we got a tough challenge against a well-coached team tonight.
How hard is it to build good defensive habits with young players?
It's really hard, and that gives more credit. Give me more credit, because that's the hardest thing to do, because there's so many different coverages. You have to know personnel. You have to be on in step with schemes. Now, they also did a great job of drafting some good young defensive players, right? Kind of like the Cavs did. Evan Mobley. They got Thompson, who's already one of the best in the league. So that's that's part of it too. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But I just give JB a ton of credit. He's done a phenomenal job with that team.
To piggyback off that, how much appreciation have you kind of gained for JB and what he was able to kind of set up here, and how it's kind of translated to your tenure?
It's a big part. Listen, the team got better every year. Guys made jumps. Conference semifinals, all that. It's all there. I just think built a really good foundation and a good culture, good guys. Like a lot of coaches, these guys, you look across, down to, whether it's Ime Udoka or JB Bickerstaff or Budenholzer, you look down, like, there's a reason they're there. Usually the cream rises to the top in the coaching world, and every night, you usually got a top-notch, guy you're competing against across the way. Tonight's no different.